Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the September 22nd edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Kate Howard. I'll show you what the administration plans to do to end hazing on campus.
We've had a lot of rain recently, but is the drought really over?
In sports, we'll take a look at what could have been, maybe should have been, a win for the football team.
Weathercaster Katie Costa is here with your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and windmills that whirl in Wilson. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Bethany Tuggle.
And I'm Gervais Hagerty. Thanks for joining us. Hazing is a dark mark against an otherwise beneficial part of campus life, the Greek system. Kate Howard joins us now live in the newsroom. Kate, is hazing a really big problem on our campus?
Gervais, officials say hazing is fairly rare here at UNC, but acknowledge that it does happen. They say that even one case of hazing is one too many.
The University of North Carolina has a zero-tolerance policy regarding hazing, yet it still happens.
We had to go to the frat next door. We were supposed to wear our bathing suits. We just stripped down, and the guys, it was actually just the seniors of the house before they marked our bodies where we had problems, and it was just awful.
That was 2 years ago, but you can tell it still hurts. Co-chair of the Greek Judicial Board, Kenley Lewis, says the definition of hazing is broad and includes humiliation.
Hazing is defined as anything that is against someone's will, whether it be coming to the house at really late hours, having to come pick up trash, any kind of physical or verbal abuse, doing anything that is against someone's will.
This is the contract all Greeks have to sign, agreeing to refrain from hazing. UNC enforces its policy on the honor system, but the pressure comes from all sides.
Parents are putting on the pressure, the university's putting on the pressure, and the students themselves are realizing they don't want the liability either. And so the student leadership is putting on the pressure.
Even though a lot of the things might seem really trivial, like there's a rule that you can't even have a scavenger hunt, it's just things like that. They really build up. You might think something can start off as really innocent and it can just escalate quickly.
Levering agrees and also argues that fraternities and sororities are trying to create good citizens, and hazing is completely contradictory to that.
The whole idea of that is making people feel less than others, and self-degrading influences are not something that our fraternities and sororities need to be doing to be building better people.
Have their efforts been successful?
Yeah, we really have. We really think that the incidents on the UNC campus have gone down.
As a whole, I think that it is getting better. I think that it's hard from my perspective to see that because I do see all the reports, but I do think that there is more awareness and knowledge.
Greek officials say the thing that's made the biggest difference is better education of parents, alumni, and students.
So, Kate, what does that education process look like?
Every year, the Greek Judicial Board holds meetings for new members where they make sure that the students clearly understand what hazing is. They also send out information to parents so they can play a better part in the process.
Kate Howard starting us off tonight in the newsroom. Thanks, Kate.
Seniors saying goodbye in May will be leaving Chapel Hill with the wise words of Desmond Tutu. In 1984, Nobel Peace Prize winner is the commencement speaker. Among many other accomplishments, Tutu has negotiated for equality in South Africa and served as the first Black African Archbishop of Cape Town. The UNC campus is quiet after a weekend in the national spotlight. Student volunteers, campaigners, administrators, and even Ramses packed Polk Place as early as 5 a.m. Saturday. Good Morning America weekend broadcasts in front of Carroll Hall. Show segments included financial management tips and an Iron Chef cook-off featuring ramen noodle dishes. Hamins Young was excited to attend the show.
I thought it was really special because ABC is doing 50 states in 50 days, and the only place they're visiting is at UNC.
You guys made it so easy for us to come in and put on an entire show. I mean, look at all the equipment we had. We had cameras, we had trucks, satellite trucks, and audio boards, and lights, and all this the stuff we need to put on a show. And UNC just made it very easy for us to do that because you're well equipped to handle that.
Alpha Delta Pi Sorority won the cook-off after a tiebreaker decided by Ramses the mascot. The big winner is the UNC family after getting some great national exposure. The advising office at the Steel Building reopened just more than a month ago, but the renovations weren't the only changes. Advising is now more personalized. Each new student can have the same name and face to go to for questions. After hearing feedback from students and advising staff, a review board made 10 suggestions for improvement. This includes reorganizing advising into 3 divisions: fine arts and humanities, behavioral and social sciences, and natural sciences and mathematics.
I'm hoping that with the start of this semester, students can also comment about the divisions and whether or not they like what they get.
You can check Student Central if you're unsure of your academic advisor or division.
A local favorite on Franklin Street is open again after a period of reconstruction. Spotlights lit up the night sky as East End, a popular bar, restaurant, and nightclub in one, reopened its doors Friday evening. A large crowd came to rock out and have a good time after a tough week of classes. Blaring music filled the cool night air as people lined up to enter the bar for the first time in nearly 2 months.
With so much rain in the area lately, many of you are probably asking this question: is the drought finally over? Well, technically yes, but there's still a need to conserve. Chris Neal explains.
In recent months, Orange County has seen its fair share of precipitation. This well-needed rain has relieved the region from a 2-year drought.
Our local situation is much better than it's really been for the last year and a half. Reservoirs are almost full. We are not under mandatory conservation right now.
Drought conditions have ceased, but Orange County is still officially classified as being abnormally dry. Even though area lakes and streams are at 97% of their capacity, Director of UNC Energy Services Ray Dubose says not much will change regarding conservation efforts here on campus.
The measures that we've taken to conserve water are all still in place. We've taken permanent measures, we've changed systems, we've changed our practices. And that's going to be ongoing.
Here at University Lake, the once barren reservoir is now almost at its full capacity. Here on campus, the sprinklers and fountains have been turned back on. But although we're out of the drought, OWASA and UNC officials still encourage you to conserve as much water as you can.
But without mandatory water restrictions, will the UNC community continue to conserve or revert back to wasteful ways?
I already made conservation one of my values, so I think I'm already doing a lot to try to conserve water and energy.
The less water we use, the less water we pay for, so it just makes sense to keep it up.
Dubose says it'll take a team effort for the positive effects of conservation to have a lasting impact.
We've done a lot in the area of sustainability, and everybody in the university community needs to be part of that.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Chris Neal, Carolina Week.
OWASA will hold an open meeting Wednesday evening to discuss proposed revisions to the current water conservation policy. First dash, then splash.
Then more dash for no cash? Who'd be interested in that? A lot of people. An early morning weekend wake up when we come back.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Supporting a charity doesn't always mean writing out a check. 2 UNC students will ride to raise money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Sophomore Chris Hartle and Evan Scott have a goal, raising $2,000 to support MS research. They've created a group on Facebook and sent out letters to family and friends to collect donations before Saturday's ride. They'll travel 175 miles across South Carolina. Hartle will be riding for a patient who doctors diagnosed with MS 4 years ago.
This is her handkerchief she sent me in the mail. She also sent me a letter, so I'm raising money to help her, with her health care costs and, to live, really.
The patient, Teresa Kogan, promised she'd try her best to be there at the finish line to say thank you to Hartle in person. Some students really like to sleep in on the weekends, but Sunday morning, dozens of UNC students got up really early to splash and dash their way through a 5K run split up by a 350-yard swim. After competitors stretched, they took off elbow to elbow. Although runners started out in a pack, leaders soon found their stride at the front of the line. Senior Jessica Allen says completing the race requires not only impressive running, but also the ability to swim through fatigue. As a splash and dash veteran, she offers some advice for first-timers.
Just come out and have fun. Really, it's just something for exercise, gauge your potential, just give it all you can, but don't kill yourself. It's for fun.
Following the race, athletes talked to coaches, competitors caught their breath, and everyone grabbed free food.
Playmakers Repertory Company kicks off this year's main stage season Wednesday with William Shakespeare's Pericles. Pericles is an epic adventure that includes princesses, pirates, assassins, and shipwrecks. The play features original music by Jack Herrick of the Red Clay Ramblers. Herrick performs his music live during the performances along with a cast of 14 actors and musicians. Joseph Hodge directs the production and is excited about opening night.
It's an exploration of our place in the universe, of just sort of where we are in the grand scheme of things. And I think if people experience that in experiencing the play, that'd be cool.
For a complete schedule of performances and to find a link to purchase tickets, log on to our website, carolinaweek.org.
Shopping and socializing, all for a good cause. UNC's Kappa Delta Sorority celebrated National Women's Friendship Day this weekend. Members invited friends and family to celebrate the holiday with a brunch and a trunk show. Local vendors bought some of their new items for the women to check out while they spent time together. 10% of all purchases from the trunk show go to benefit the Chapel Hill Women's Center, which serves more than 4,500 women and girls in the area. Well, now we've got weathercaster Katie Costa.
Katie, this weather has been so nice lately. How long can we expect it to stick around?
Well, we saw a nice, warm and sunny day today, but will this pleasant weather continue until this weekend? Your forecast is next.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Katie Costa. Well, today we saw a nice, warm and sunny day today, and we will continue to see warm temperatures over the next several days. Now, we will also be staying dry at least up until Thursday. So overall, we will be seeing pleasant weather for a while. Now, if we take a look at the U.S. satellite and radar, we see that most of the severe weather we are dealing with across the nation is out to the west, specifically over Minnesota and parts of Nebraska, and even out farther west to about Idaho and Montana. And even southern Texas is experiencing severe weather too, in the form of big thunderstorms and rain. Now, New England, a different story. Look at that. New England is very dry right now, just a few patchy clouds. And if we zoom into our region, we see that the western part of the state and the central part where we are is pretty dry. However, there are a few showers lingering over the eastern part of the state. However, these should be out of here by later tonight. Now, zooming out to the current surface map, we see the reason why there are still showers lingering over the eastern part, and that is because there's still low pressure that is to our east, but once that low pressure moves farther east into the Atlantic, the rain will move with it, and we will be dry up until Thursday. Now, our next weather maker is this cold front to our west, and this is what could be increasing our likelihood for rain on Thursday and Friday. However, Friday we do have a higher chance for that rain. Now, if we zoom out to the Atlantic satellite and radar, we see that there is one low pressure system we are keeping an eye out for because it does have medium potential for intensifying into a tropical depression. However, we are not too concerned about it because it's not expected to track anywhere near the Carolinas. Now, whether you're planning on being at State, Duke, or Chapel Hill tonight, expect lows to get down into the 50s. It is going to feel really chilly out there tonight compared to what we've been seeing the past few nights. And we will see partly cloudy skies though, so it shouldn't be too bad considering we won't have any rain. Now, tomorrow will be a different story. We will get up into the mid-70s with partly cloudy skies. So it'll be very nice over area, whether you're being at State, Duke, or Chapel Hill. Now, it'll be a perfect day to have a nice walk around the park and enjoy the outdoors. Now, for our 4-day forecast for our region, expect Tuesday and Wednesday to be the nicest days out of the next 4 days, especially Wednesday. Look at that, mostly sunny. However, Thursday, we do have those chances of rain moving in, and Friday especially, 40%. Now, highs will be in the mid to low 70s with lows in the 50s, though. That is going to be very cold to what we're used to at nighttime.
Yeah, definitely. And considering this new colder forecast seems about right for now because it's just the beginning of fall.
That's exactly right. It's actually going to be fall-like weather.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
Each day, thousands of people pick up the campus paper. But what exactly are they reading? The Daily Tar Heel provides its readers with plenty of articles to read and enjoy, but many students don't get the paper to be informed. They're turning right to the puzzle page for their daily fix of the Sudoku and crossword puzzles, even, dare we say it, during classes.
I basically read the back comic and the police log, and I give the crossword a shot, but it's usually too challenging.
Honestly, I couldn't live without the puzzles. They pretty much get me through the first 15 or 20 minutes of all my 75-minute classes.
I mainly get it to read the articles. I don't really get a chance to do the puzzles.
Right about when that 45-minute mark hits, I got to go straight to the crossword even to make it through.
Well, I have to admit, when I get the paper, I go straight to the puzzles. But what's really been puzzling me is what's happening with our star quarterback.
Yeah, well, at least we have you, Aaron Summers, to help us solve that puzzle. I don't know.
Yeah, we certainly have a couple issues that we have to deal with for football. Coming up in sports, a blow to the football team. We have some new information on the status of TJ Yates.
Like I said earlier, if they want to win these...
Come on.
And it's a block!
What? What kind of kick was that? You've got to be kidding me!
Hey, hot shot. Sounds like you know a lot about the game.
You should put that to use. Come on, let's go take a jog.
There are plenty of ways that you can volunteer in your community.
Just figure out what you like to do and pass it on to others.
And you know what? You can have a lot of fun doing it, too.
Pick those knees up. Keep going. Pick those legs up. Let's go. All right, now. Show them how to kick that ball.
To find out ways you can volunteer in your community, log on to teensvolunteer.org.
Okay, Ben, here we go, buddy. That was great, Ben. This time, just try to kick the ball.
Do what you like to do. Volunteer.
When TJ Yates hobbled off the field Saturday, Carolina fans hoped it was just an ankle sprain and that he'd be ready by this weekend. Instead, he's out for a minimum of 6 weeks with a broken ankle.
I could tell something though, because just walking around or trying to at least, I knew something was wrong or something more serious than just an ankle sprain. So, I was surprised and upset, but yeah, I don't know what to say really.
TJ Yates, now out for half the season, had the Heels leading Virginia Tech for half the contest. But Carolina couldn't sustain the momentum for the entire 60 minutes. Carolina Week's Jason Kahn breaks down the game.
The Tar Heels entered Keenan with a new swagger, getting a second dose of national attention. The defense was on target early. Then again, the Hokies' D came to play too.
Virginia Tech is a good football team. They are fundamentally sound. They are very well coached. Their players play hard.
The Heels huffed and puffed and tried to blow down the Hokie line. Coach Butch Davis knew it wasn't going to be easy.
And you're not going to line up out there and go 4, 5, 6 yards a down every single snap against Virginia Tech. It's not going to happen.
Eventually, the Heels offense got into a groove late in the second quarter. If you need a touchdown, just call on number 87. Brandon Tate's 32-yard catch at the Heels up 10-3 at half. But the Heels didn't take it for granted.
Everybody was just holding their composure, trying to stay humble about it.
When the Heels came back for 2 more quarters, they fired an immediate offensive charge. Hakeem Nicks hauled in 3 receptions for 35 yards in the half and 51 yards on the day. Brooks Foster also contributed 52 yards overall. It seemed like everything was clicking.
We had opportunities to make plays, and sometimes we stepped up and did.
That was until TJ Yates couldn't walk on 2 feet any longer. Enter Mike Paulus. His first handoff was a success. Greg Little bolted 50 yards down the field, extending the lead to 17-3, his longest run of the season. But suddenly the defense broke down and Paulus had trouble making throws, finishing with 2 interceptions. 2 touchdowns and a field goal later by the Hokies, and the Heels were the ones playing catch-up.
It's some things that we could have done better, like protecting the football and eliminating the turnovers.
The Heels made every attempt to make a comeback, but time caught up with them as they fell 20-17. The football team will travel to Miami this Saturday. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jason Kahn, Carolina Week Sports.
Coach Davis hasn't decided whether Mike Paulus or Cam Sexton will be the quarterback on Saturday against the Hurricanes. Coming off a shutout victory against Georgia on Friday, the number 3 ranked women's soccer team looked to repeat the feat against Fordham. The Lady Heels were in Koshkanen Stadium in Durham for the final of the Duke Adidas Classic. The Heels had many close calls in the first half, like this shot from Yael Averbush, just off the crossbar. With the Tar Heel faithful behind them, the Heels came out firing in the second half with this assist from goalie Ashlyn Harris ahead to Nikki Washington for the breakaway goal and a 2-0 lead. The Heels would add goals from Megan Klingenberg and Brittany Bartok on their way to a 6-0 shutout. Head coach Anson Dorrance is pleased with how the team's playing heading into the tough ACC schedule.
I like where we are. Last year we struggled to score some goals. This year we're not having as much trouble. I like the new defense.
The women's field hockey team is a defending national champion and is on a 5-game winning streak. With less than 20 minutes remaining against Old Dominion Friday night, the Heels found themselves trailing 1-0. The momentum quickly shifted when junior Danielle Forward scored to tie the game at 1. Less than a minute later, senior Britt Van Beek crashed on a penalty stroke to give the Heels the lead for good. Junior Melanie Brill added icing on the cake for a 3-1 victory for the Heels. Head coach Karen Shelton says she's pleased with how the team's responding to being down late in the game.
We really haven't come from behind in a game like this one to win it. And so I was proud of the team. I think while it wasn't the best executed game, I think we found a way to win, and that's important.
On Sunday, the Heels took on Radford University in front of an excited home crowd. Coach Shelton said the team's goal was to get more production on offense, and she got her wish. The Heels dominated in the first half, including this crossing shot by Caitlin Fogowski. The second half was a different story. With Carolina ahead 8-1, the Radford defense frustrated the Heels, who had a tougher time scoring. Still, Radford fell short of overcoming the first half deficit, as the Heels won 9-3 and improved to 6-2. Danielle Forward says Radford's defense gave her and her teammates plenty of opportunities on offense.
Radford had
was very porous, so that was nice, and we were able to play our style of hockey, which is laying ball into space or two-touching, and so that made it easy for me, but also, yeah, for everyone, I suppose.
Former Carolina basketball star Hubert Davis is sponsoring a two-part charity event that ends today to raise money for Volunteers for Youth, an organization that prevents juvenile delinquency. People came to bid on all kinds of items last night at a charity auction. There was a signed football from Butch Davis, an autographed Mia Hamm jersey, a Mike Fox penned baseball bat, and of course, Carolina basketball memorabilia. Former Carolina Hoops player Jawad Williams, a starter for the 2005 National Championship team, will be working out for the Cleveland Cavaliers at their training camp. The 6'9", 218-pound Williams had a brief stint with the Los Angeles Clippers and the NBA Developmental League. Williams is one of the 55 Tar Heels with at least 1,000 points in their college careers.
Well, thanks so much, Erin. An artist, prom night, and a car wreck, all part of an urban legend.
Coming up, we'll tell you the story and if it should make you afraid.
Tick, 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 tick. Massive heat waves. Heat waves. Tick. Severe droughts. Tick, 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 tick. Devastating hurricanes. Tick, 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 tick.
Our future is up to you.
Tick.
Go to fightglobalwarming.com while there's still time.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
You never know what you'll find when driving down a country road or who you'll meet.
Sarah Moore introduces us to a man who lives on a country road in Wilson, a man who doesn't mind announcing to everyone exactly where he lives.
Wallace Simpson loves whirligigs. During World War II, he built his first one overseas as an energy source.
And it got stolen from over there. They come in there with those boats with the front end fall down, those Jeeps, and steal everything and get their hands on.
Today, Simpson is nearing 90. But 30 years ago, he began building these 60-foot-tall whirligigs in a field across from his repair shop. These giant windmills are all made of old farm parts he's bought, painted, and welded together. And the final touch? Reflectors so people can see his handiwork, even at night. Vines and thorns are now overtaking some of his creations. With a slight breeze, they all still spin and swirl, just like the day Simpson first put them up. But there's a dark legend that accompanies these bright whirligigs. Legend has it that in the 60s, a young woman and her boyfriend decided to drop acid on the way home from prom. As they arrived at the tricky intersection at Wiggins Mill, they ran off the road and straight into a tree. Wallace Simpson, the young girl's father, is said to have gone crazy. Simpson built a field full of whirligigs covered in reflectors to warn oncoming cars of the bad intersection. Some say that on prom night, you can still hear the girl scream.
That's all a lie. About my daughter and all that, something like that. 99% you hear out there are damn false.
Simpson's daughter actually lives right around the corner from the whirligig farm. She now has 3 children. The legend might not be true, but it never ceases to amuse Simpson.
I can see it right here. I worked right here for the last 25 years. And you'll come in 1 or 2 cars, and the leader that's been out there and thinks she knows it all, she get out and tell the biggest lies you've ever heard.
So if you're ever out for a drive in the country and you stumble upon something like this, rest easy, knowing there's no spooky meaning behind them. They are merely a testament to the hard work, devotion, and passion Simpson has put into his art. In Wilson, I'm Sarah Moore, Carolina Week.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.